Today we're making pierogies for dinner. So first of all, I'm doing the filling, and I'm going to make a potato cheese filling. So I peeled a couple of cooking onions. I'm going to cut them up small, dice it as small as you can. And of course I washed my hands off with my rings. Not rings, ring. I only wear one. So chop your onions up quite small. Those we're going to saute. These are going to be mixed in with the potato. That's why you want them quite small. So that's going to go in the oil. I just put maybe like 2 tablespoons of oil. And I'm going to saute those. While that's cooking, I have my potatoes peeled, but I have to cook them. Because we're going to mash them, we don't have to dice them up too small. So it takes about a half an hour to cook the potatoes. While the potatoes are cooking, we're going to do a bit of other prep, such as grating the cheese, getting the dough ready. Then we can saute up the onions. If you want, you can saute bacon. So pierogies are a very personal thing. You can put in pretty much, like if you want to do cottage cheese, instead of shredded cheese, you can do cottage cheese, or you can do a mixture of both. So I'm just going to cook these for about 25 minutes until they're soft. So the potatoes are cooked. So we're going to mash them up till they're nice and smooth. Shred some cheese. I have old cheddar. So half a cup or so, depending on how much you want, but I'm going to put probably close to a cup. Put that in to the potatoes. And I fried up 2 small cooking onions. I'm going to put that in. Now this entire mixture I'm going to mix up, because you want the cheese to melt in to the potato. While that is melting, I'm going to make the dough. So I've got 4 cups of flour and half a teaspoon of salt. Salt, an egg, I'm just making a well in the center of the flour. And to that, I'm going to add 1 cup of the potato water that is cooled. Pretty good. Turn it out on a floured surface. And we want to knead the dough. Once the dough is kneaded, divide it into 3 balls. And we're going to roll it out. So cover your rolling pin with flour. This takes a little bit of elbow grease rolling this out. So it's kind of stretchy dough. So just back and forth working it. It's going to be about the thickness about an eighth of an inch when you're done. You've got your dough to the proper thickness. You don't want it too thin, but you don't want it too thick either, because then it's going to taste doughy. But use a Perogi cutter. Cut your pierogis out. Or if you don't have a Perogi cutter, you can also use the rim of a glass. So depending on what size you want to make, you can just use the rim of glass. Once that's done, now if it feels a little bit dry, you can moisten it so that it seals properly. Put it in the Perogi press. See how the cheese has nicely mixed up? It's melted into the potato. So take maybe like a heaping tablespoon. Wet the dough and close up the press. So there's your Perogi, like that. Or so if we're going to use this one that we made with the glass, same thing. Wet the dough a bit. Put like a heaping tablespoon of filling. And then just close it up and press to seal. Now if you want to do it fancy, you can also use a fork on the edges. Like that, just to make it a little bit fancier. Once that's done, Perogi is into boiling water for about 8 to 10 minutes, or until it floats to the surface, and then it's done. We're going to chop up some onion. As you can see here, I've already done some bacon, because I'm going to serve my pierogis with fried onion, crumbled up bacon, and sour cream on the side. So I'm going to cut up about half this onion, and while my pierogis are cooking, I'm going to saute up this onion. Okay. Once the pierogi is floating, that means it's done. As I said, 8 to 10 minutes, so I take it out. At this point, you could just put them on your dish and eat them like that. But I like to fry mine up to crisp the outside. I'm frying it with my onions that I'm going to serve. And here is the finish, fried with a bit of onion, bacon, and sour cream on the side.